Our home plate for tonight is your study guide. Am I making my point? Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, sometimes I gotta be like so obvious because some of you forget. It's like, do your home plate, study. This is only half of your grade. Only, which means 2-letter grades if you really want to think it through. Anyways, I just wanted to add some animation. Do I need to say it? For tonight, this weekend, study. We start our final on Monday. Once again, Saturday Academy tomorrow. That's at 8 a.m. Either early, like I said, I invited the students from the other teachers. And last time I had close to 20 of them that were there. So hopefully, if you get there early, you'll sit with whomever you're going to sit, bring your snack, and so on and so forth. Okay? All right. Our objective for today, I can divide polynomials. Today we're going to continue. But before we get there, I'm going to go ahead and go over a problem from the home plate. The first problem that was on that page. All right. So here we go. If you have the work, then probably do this on a separate space, so like that you can see the process one more time. Now, some of you, as soon as you saw decimals, you're like, oh, forget it. I'm just going to do some Fortnite. So, here it goes. The dividend, what do we have? We have x to the fourth. But what did we say yesterday? Cautionary, if it's missing the other one, that makes it into standard form to write it out so that you can compensate for the space, yes? So what do I write here? 0x cubed plus 0x squared, because we're missing those two, is that correct? So what's next? Plus 6x minus 2.5. Now that I have my dividend in there, now I write my divisor. X squared plus 3x plus 0.5. All right? So, and the rest of it is just like simple work. Here we go. Second common mistake that I saw some of you make. Look up to the screen so you can correct it. I said during the lesson, I said, what number times the first term gives me this? And some of you wrote x squared, which is good. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. But some of you did this. You cancel these and then you brought this down and you did something else again. That is not going to work because this one has 3 terms, this one and this one. That means you need to distribute this to all 3. So, x squared times x squared, x to the fourth. X squared times 3x, that's 3x cubed, so positive 3x cubed. X squared times 1/2, that's plus half x squared. From there, put my bar, and I'm going to subtract. Now, some of you, I also saw some of you, as you were doing that, you were writing it as negatives, which is good. I'm not that advanced. I like to see it. So, subtract, what does that mean? I need to change this to its opposite sign, which is minus, minus, and minus. I need to see it, Mr. Q. Maybe you don't, but I do. So what does that mean? These cancel. We're left with negative 3x cubed and negative 0.5x squared. My next step, bring the next term down. Plus 6x. And I start all over again. What number times the first term gives me negative 3x cubed? Negative 3x. Negative 3x times x squared is negative 3x cubed. Negative 3x times 3x, that's negative 9x squared. Negative 9x squared. Negative 3x times half, that's negative 1.5x. Now I draw my bar, my subtraction sign. Why do I do that? Because Q, needs to see that. My brain. Because that is going to tell me to change all these to their opposite signs. So this becomes a positive, positive, and positive. Now some of you do that like automatically. You guys are geniuses. This cancels. And I'm left with 9, take away half, that's 8.5x squared. 6 and 1.5, that's positive 7.5x. And this is easy, let's go. Bring down the next term, negative 2.5. Question, what number times x squared gives me 8.5x squared? 8.5, positive 8.5. That's positive 8.5x squared. 8.5 times 3, that's positive 25.5. Is that correct? 25.5x, and 8.5 times 1/2, that's positive 4.25. So you're looking at me like, by now you guys should have it. All right, so then we're going to subtract me. I need to see the subtraction so I can change the sign of everything here. All right, this cancels. I got 7.5 take away 25.5. That leaves me with negative 18x. I got negative 2.5 and negative 4.25. Let me put a 0 here, so that gives me negative 6.75. This is my remainder. Andrew, you got that? Okay, good. So one mistake that I saw once again was some of you did not write these, and then you were combining x's with x cubed. You cannot combine stuff that don't have the same exact exponent. If you end up with something like that, then you need to write them out right next to each other. The easiest way to avoid that is by writing in your dividend the zeros for the empty spaces. Okay? All right, set that aside. Copy this next one. Example 2, we have 9x cubed plus x squared plus 11x minus 4 divided by x squared minus 6. All right. So before we write our dividend, check to see that it's in standard form and you have all the powers represented. Let's see. Starts with a third power. Which one is next? 2. Which one is next? 1. It is there. And then 0. Yeah, it's already in that form, so we don't need to add any zeros for the placement. So I'm going to write 9x cubed plus x squared plus 11x minus 4. And this one goes right there. All right. Bless you. I'll give you a head start. Do one step at a time so like that you don't have to do a lot of it, and then all of a sudden you make a mistake and erase. Do the next step. right? What number times the first term gives me 9x cubed? 9x. 9x times that is 9x cubed. But now I have a second term. So what is 9x times negative 6? Negative 54x. I do not write it under the x squared. I write it under the what? 11x. Negative 54x. We're going to subtract now. That means this is a negative, and this becomes a what? A positive. That is correct. Me, I need to see it. Maybe you don't, but I do. This cancels, and I'm left. What is my remainder? 65x. Did everybody get that step? Okay, good. What's the next step? Bring the next term. X squared, and this is a positive 65. All right. What number times x squared gives me x squared? 1 plus 1. So therefore, x squared, 1 times negative 6, that's negative 6. I don't write it under here because that's an x. I'm going to subtract. Why? Because I need to see it to make sure this is the opposite, which is a negative, and this is the opposite, which is a positive. So this cancels. I'm left with 65x. Now here I can just do this since they're the same type. So what would be the answer here? 2. However, if I was to follow what I'm doing, the process, I bring this down. And lastly, I bring my last term down. You're like, isn't it the same thing, Mr. Good? Yeah, but I'm saying I'm following the process so you'll think through the entire process. Which leaves me with what? 65x plus 2. This is my remainder. Okay? All right. Now, yesterday I said it's fine if you just put remainder, or if you put a parentheses and put remainder and put it next to that, that's fine. Today I'm going to actually show you how to write it the way I wanted it. Ready? Look up. So I'm going to take you back to elementary. Ready? Pay attention to the process. Let's say I had the number 23 divided by 4. All right. 4 does not fit into 2, but it fits into 23. How many times? 5. 5 times 4 is 20. And that's going to leave me with 3. This is my remainder. Yes? Now, your teachers in elementary showed you how to write this with the remainder. Here it goes. My whole number is what? 5. What's my remainder? 3. 4. You guys remember that? Yes? Now, to clarify confusion, when there's two numbers like this next to each other, there is no multiplication. It's addition. Did you hear what I just said? Now, let me prove that. Let's say Danica is at Ross, and she has $20 on her. $20. And she bumps into Cindy, and Cindy's all, you know what, Danica, I have 2 quarters on me that they're bothering me. I carry only hundreds, so I'm going to give you these 2 quarters. So how much did Cindy have? 2 quarters, which is 1/2, and she gives those to Danica. How much money will Danica have total? 20.5. Is that correct? Did I multiply at all? No, you just add those. That's why it's addition. Are we there? All right. Any questions with how to write this? Yeah. Yeah, we just leave it like that. Let's try it with this. What's my whole number? 9x plus what? What's my fraction? Remainder is what? 65x plus 2 over what? X squared minus 6. However, for these polynomials, I do want you to put a little plus sign right here. Look up. Right there. Copy that. You're like, oh, now it makes sense. Right? And we're like, yes. All right. We good? And let me change the R to a red so you guys can see the red. Okay. Now, once again, how did it look in elementary? It looked like this. Whole number, remainder over the divisor. That's why we get this. Okay. All right. You try it. Example 2 super cube. 9x to the 4th plus x cubed plus 11x squared minus 4 divided by x squared plus 4. All right, some of you already set it up. Let's see if you set up the same way as I did. You should have written 9x to the 4th plus x cubed plus 11x squared plus 0x minus 4. Hands, have you got that? Yeah. And then our divisor is x squared plus 4. Let's see. Larissa, what number times x squared gives me 9x to the 4th? 9x squared. 9x squared times x squared is 9x to the 4th. 9x squared times 4, because we need to multiply the other term outside, right, is 36x squared. Do I put it under the x cubed? No, I put it right here. Positive 36x squared. Minus and minus. This cancels. My remainder here is negative 25x squared. I bring down my next term, x cubed. What number times x squared gives me x cubed? Positive x. X times x squared is x cubed. X times 4 is 4x. Do I put it under the x squared? No, I put it on the next phase, which is positive 4x. So that means this is a negative, this is a negative. I'm left with negative 25x squared minus 4x. What's my last term? Negative 4. What number times x squared gives me negative 25x squared? Negative 25. That's negative 25x squared. Negative 25 times 4 is negative 100. I'm going to subtract, which means this turns into its opposite, and this turns to its opposite. So my remainder is negative 4x plus 96. That's my remainder. And if you got that, okay, good. All right, so let's write it the way it should go. What's my whole number? 9x squared plus x minus 25 plus a fraction. What's my fraction? Negative 4x plus 96 over x squared plus 4. Show me your parents how come you are with these. Yeah, 5 fours, 5 fours, 3.5, and we need a manicure. All right. Do another one. Copy this one. Example MJQ. 12x to the fourth plus 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2 divided by x squared plus, give me a number, 4. All right, let's see how you do with that one. Ready, copy, and go. Let's see, your setup should look as follows. 12x to the fourth, 4x cubed, 3x squared plus 0x plus 2 divided by x squared plus 4. Yeah? And you're like, Mr. Q, this is a piece of cake. All right, good. So what number times x squared gives us 12x to the fourth? 12x squared. That gives me 12x to the fourth, and 12x squared times 4, that's positive 48x squared. Subtract, which means this is the negative, this is the negative. We're left with negative 45x squared. Is that correct? Bring down the next term, 4x cubed. What number times x squared gives us 4x cubed? Positive 4x. That is 4x cubed. 4x times 4 is positive 16x. Positive 16x. Subtract. This cancels. We're left with negative 45x squared minus 16x. Lastly, we bring down the last term, which is plus 2. What number times x squared gives me negative 45x squared? Negative 45. That is negative 45x squared. Negative 45 times 4, that's positive 180. No, negative 180. Negative 180. We subtract. That means this becomes a positive. This becomes a positive. Cancels. We're left with negative 16x plus 182. This is my remainder. And we got that? Okay. So, our whole number is 12x squared plus 45x. Oh, my bad. 4x. 4x minus 45. I got that from here. But now I need to add the fraction or the remainder. What is my remainder? My remainder is negative 16x plus 182 over my divisor, which is x squared plus 4. Hands, have you got that? Yeah, you got this, yeah? All right, copy this next one. All right, copy this one. Example 3, divide using synthetic division. You're like, what? Yeah, I know. Copy it. I'm going to show you another way of dividing. It says, divide using synthetic division, 7x cubed minus 6x plus 9 divided by x plus 5. Just copy it, and I'm going to go through the process. And just stay focused. Please do not copy, because on this one, you will get lost. Just letting you know. All right? Here it goes. If you notice here, it's almost in standard form. I mean, it's written in standard form with what they have, but what is missing? Which term? The x squared. Is that correct? All right. So write your utensils down, look up, please. I'm going to use synthetic division. So, which means I'm not going to use any variables. I wrote this polynomial here. Oh, sorry. I wrote this polynomial here. I remember why I wrote this. Because it's missing the x squared, right? Okay. So I'm going to divide this by this one. But look what I'm going to use. Yes? Does everybody see where I get negative 5? Okay, good. All right. So pay attention. Here it goes. This is synthetic division. No variables, just numbers. I take the first term, I bring it down, and it's no longer in the x cubed spot. It becomes an x squared spot, but here it is, 7. Now that I have that, I'm going to take this number, multiply this, and then write the answer right here. So, what is negative 5 times 7? Negative 35. From there, I'm going to combine these two this way, and I get this following number. So what is 0 and negative 35? Negative 35. I'm going to do it again. Negative 5 times negative 35. That's positive. 5 times 30, that's 150. 5 times 5 is 25, so that's 175. It's right there. From there, once again, I'm going to combine these, and that gives me what? 169. I'm going to do it one more time. Negative 5 times this one, and I'm going to write it there. So what is negative 5 times this? Let's see. Negative 5 times 9 is 45. I got 4. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 4, that's 34. 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 plus 3 is 8. So, since I don't have any more terms, this would be my remainder. So what is my remainder? Negative, because I need to combine this, right? Negative 836. All right? You're like, what did you just do, Mr. Q? I don't understand. Well, let me show you. My whole number is 7x squared minus 35x plus 169. Now I need to add my remainder. What is my remainder? Negative 836 over what? X plus 5. Copy that. Yes. Yes. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. Copy that, please. Now, am I going to ask you to do one of these in the final? No. Just long division. So, but this is another method of dividing. It's called synthetic division. Pretty cool, huh? Kind of like the matrices that you guys love. All right. And we'll stop right there. So once again, your home play for the weekend. What was it? Study. Your study guide. And once again, those of you that are going to be there tomorrow morning, do not write on your study guide because that's the one you're going to use at the study session tomorrow at the Saturday Academy. So how do I study, Mr. Q? On a separate sheet of paper, do the work and label the ones that you're struggling with so you can see the process tomorrow. Make it a family math night. All right, guys, good one. Enjoy your home play. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.